going to tell you a little story. There was once a slave who thought all he was a slave and was very afraid of his master. The master would beat him verbally, physically, emotionally, telling him he couldn't amount to anything and that he was just a worker bee slave. The master would tell him this all day as the slave worked, beating into his head. Then one day the master fell asleep. The master fell asleep. And the slave noticed this. Couldn't believe it. He's asleep? That's never happened before. But at last he was. And so the slave wondered, what will he do now? Will they get all the other slaves together and riot? Well, the other slaves were sleeping. They were still afraid of the master. They didn't see that he was sleeping. So they themselves were like unconscious of the fact that their master was sleeping. And the slave decided to do something very outlandish. With all the slaves being unconscious, not noticing any different, and the master sleeping, maybe he could divide up everything everyone had. Property, prestige, money, everything, evenly among every one of them. So he did that. And then he played this music that was beautiful, and from his soul he played it. And it sent out a beautiful wave of energy to everyone, masters and slaves alike. And those that wanted that same energy, beautiful energy, were drawn to it. And they woke up. And each one, as they woke up, got their share of everything. And all were equal. Eventually everyone woke up. And they saw that this house that the master had made is a disaster. And they have to tear it down and rebuild from a new foundation. And that's what they did. And the slaves and the masters all lived as one, because that is just what they all are. One. Realizing that, awakening to that power, magical power, is unfamiliar to them, definitely. Just like any skill or work, you must practice it to get well. And we become very successful at talking this money talk. I guess, if you could say. But the slaves don't have that language anymore in this story. They're not slaves at all. Slaves and master alike are all equal creators. And they're not going to let a little piece of paper take away their power anymore as creators. They will own it and be the change in the world that they have always dreamed of. That they thought the master was keeping from them with stories of God. God can do this for you. You cannot do it for yourself, but you can. And in this concept of God, the way most people see it is a flaw-infested concept, a flaw-infested manipulation tactic. So, the end of this story, there's no end. It will keep going on, and there will be more fun and exciting chapters of life. Here is one small section. I hope to hear yours in response to this video, and I wish you find freedom. No, that's not it. I wish that everybody will hear the call, hear the sound of that perfect sound that resonates in you, because deep down inside you are perfect and you know how to live perfect. There's this inner battle, though, that we must conquer with our mind, the master. We need to take control. My thoughts. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, and please respond. The world is all of us, all together. Let's work this out together.